Number 4, and this is where this video was kind of born out of. Yes, I used to have wonderful, luxurious long hair. Tyler Miller, the bored a-hole here, and 2 things are going to happen. This should be going up on Sunday, because Sunday is dumb day when we do dumb videos. And 2, Gerald, the gym fitness mascot, whatever it's called, the gym penguin, I can't remember what we called him. He may not have been introduced, and if that's the case, if the other video hasn't gone live, there's just a penguin here. But look at him, isn't he awesome? He absolutely is. He is my new fitness mascot. So something a little bit differently today. I get a lot of very nice messages saying, Simon, we'd like to know more about you, and the gym stuff is cool, but could you do a video here and there giving us an insight into your own life? And I was like, well, we'll give it a go. And if nobody watches it, we won't do it again. If loads of people watch it, I'll just go vlog crazy. I am, of course, joking. We will always keep the balance. But trying to think about a way to do it, and a very popular video is things you won't believe about me. Now, it's a very clickbaity title, because it's not like I'm going to go, I'm a ghost. You're like, oh, he's a ghost. I can't believe it. Because, you know, all of the stuff that is going to come out of my mouth, I'm sure you can fathom on some level because you're a human being. But look, let's do it. Let's try it. 10 things you won't believe about me. Number 10 is that I'm a ghost. That's too easy. Obviously, I'm not a ghost. Number 10 is that I really, really worry about this channel and all my YouTube related stuff. I tried to think of one that we could tie off that was quite general and that we could talk about, things that are related to what we're watching right now. And I thought, hell, let's just be honest. I worry about this thing probably every second of every day. I worry when the views go down. I worry when the watch time goes down. I worry when the subs stop going up because I'm massively invested in it. And that's the same for all my other stuff as well, because I'm sure most of you do know I also work for Whatculture Wrestling. And it's the same thing over there. I really, well, let's be honest with myself. I put a lot of weight and a lot of pressure on my shoulders to do a good job. And in fact, doing a good job is one of the most important things in my entire life. I pride myself on my work. I'm a hard-working guy, but I think that that's just where it starts. Doesn't mean you deserve success. Doesn't mean you have success. Doesn't mean you accomplish anything. Gerald agrees with that. That's just what you have to do, and then everything else is kind of life either throwing you a bone or not. And I'm very happy to say that over the last 6 months, this channel has got a lot bigger, but over the last 30, 45 days, it's kind of slowed off a little bit, which is just the YouTube way. It's just true. You can't expect to smash it all the time. Otherwise, in a month, you'd be like as big as PewDiePie, which of course is the dream, because you should dare to dream, but doesn't mean you're going to get there. But yeah, I really do. I'm so invested. And that comes down to the quality of the videos. You ask anybody in my inner circle of friends and family, and my big thing at the moment is, I say this all the time, too many times, like is me just sitting at a desk enough? Do I need to go outside? Do I need to do more content in the gym? Do I need to do that? Answer. But when I was losing my hair, I used to ask all my friends, and it's exactly the same now. So clearly I'm just a bit like, I just jump on things too much. I wear my heart on my sleeve. But I knew my hair was getting worse, and I used to bend my head down, and I go, is it getting worse? Is it getting worse? 10 minutes later, is it getting worse? Hair can't work that way, but I latched onto it again like a hawk. Something I need to work on. That's number 10. Number 9 is I'm terrified of flying. Hate it. Cannot stand it. Didn't like it when I first did it as a kid, to the point I got myself so wound up, I couldn't eat the aeroplane food. And when I was driving home, my parents had to get me some food because I hadn't eaten, so they got me a McDonald's, and my brother and sister were livid. They were like, we want McDonald's, because you always want to your McDonald's when you're a kid. It's bad to say you always want a kid when you're McDonald's. That's a different video. But yeah, I absolutely hated it. And while I got kind of better at it, I was very lucky. I used to work in video games. We're going to talk about it later. And I had a lot of press trips. So there was kind of this 2-year period where I flew a lot, and it became a little bit more normal. But then that knocked off again. I'm always very on edge on planes. I have to get a Yahoo milkshake, or a Yazoo, I think it's called in America. Have to have one of those. It just comforts me because I love chocolate milkshakes so much. And when that plane takes off, I will grip the damn handles of my chair like I want to rip them off. And so many people don't like landing. I love landing because it means it's over and we're on the floor. I think this was probably increased by the time I was flying back from LA. I went to an E3, which is a video game event. And I don't know whether you've ever hit an air bubble before, or a pocket of air, whatever the hell they call it. We hit it, and the plane just dropped out the sky for around about 20 seconds, but it may as well have been my entire life. And in that, 30 seconds, whatever, my whole life flashed in front of my eyes, and I worried about going bald because I still had hair then. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I'll always do it because, again, I'm a massive, I'm all about putting myself in uncomfortable positions, but I mean that in a positive way and seizing opportunities. And usually opportunities do mean getting on a plane and hauling ass somewhere. But yeah, if you want to talk about things that I'm absolutely terrified of, planes. Number 8, a little bit more fun, is that I'm obsessed with cookie dough ice cream. We'll keep this short and sweet. I would have cookie dough ice cream, Ben & Jerry's mostly, whenever. And when I go to the cinema and they have Ben & Jerry's, my 3 flavors I will have is half-baked, because there's cookie dough in it, the cookie dough one, and then the low-cal cookie dough one they have because it's more cookie dough. I could honestly eat cookie dough ice cream for the rest of my life and I would never get bored. I genuinely mean this. I would marry it if I could. Let's lower the tone. I'd make love to it if I could. We've talked about having sex with pizzas jokingly on this channel before, so we should do it again. Pretty much obsessed. Number 7, get asked this a lot, is that, what did you used to do in a past life? Like I'm dead, like I used to be King Henry or something. I wouldn't be King Henry, he's a bad person, number 8. But I used to review video games on Sky TV. I don't know if you get Sky TV in America. You probably don't, but it's a paid for subscription channel over here. It has all the big sports. And I was very, very lucky to land that gig. And I had it for a couple of years, maybe 3 years. I'll obviously be showing you some clips now of me doing it. And I just used to think it was the most badass thing ever, because obviously I love YouTube. I've embraced YouTube. I'm so thankful for any success I get on YouTube. But when somebody puts you on television, it's like, wow, I got put on TV. And these are only short segments in a technology show they had called Swipe. But oh my gosh, I love them. And it used to make you feel like $1 million. But what they did used to do is they used to send you a car. There's nothing cooler than someone coming up going, knocking at your door, not just knocking on this table, going, Mr. Miller, your car is here. And you're like, I'll be 5 minutes. I never did that, but you want to, because you're in control. And a car would drive me to Sky. I would go in there, I would do my stuff, and there would a car be waiting to take me home. Call it arrogance, call it ego. Look, there's sometimes the little things make you happy. That made me damn happy. Number 6 is I used to work for Arsenal Football Club, and I did until the flipping global pandemic came and ruined all kinds of outside opportunities. Again, I'll play a clip now so you can see it. But this is one of the coolest and, well, I guess most proud things, or proudest I should say, things I ever got. I know people are going nuts in the comments now. I'm a massive Arsenal fan. Ian Wright was my hero when I was a kid. I loved Ian Wright. I still do. I just think he's just sums up everything I enjoy about sports. And it's really, really weird because, again, I do the Whatculture wrestling stuff. And I think on a video there or on my Twitter or something, I had mentioned Arsenal. And I got this incredible email. I was out at cinema or something. I got this incredible email basically from Guy was the person's name at arsenal.com. So I thought, well, that's not real. They said, hi, Simon, blah, blah, blah. I hear you're an Arsenal fan. I was so intrigued. I said, I've got to reply back. I was like, yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan. And they got me in to do they have a post, a pre, and a mid-game show. And they got me in to be the sort of guest on the other side next to the pro that they'd always get in. And that was badass for me as well, because I was hosting it next to all these people I'd watched when I was a kid. I loved that gig. I absolutely loved it. I got to go see all the football before that got taken away from us at the Emirates. It was the coolest thing ever. It was. And I get the world has changed. It's not their fault. Nobody could have seen it coming. But yeah, again, I wanted to make sure these things that I was really passionate about and, again, really proud about. And I loved working for Arsenal Football Club because, when I'm on my deathbed, I can go back through these things. I can say I wanted to be a professional wrestler, and I wrestled. I wanted to, kind of get involved with all the things that I loved. Which is, Arsenal Football Club was one of them. Another one's just come to mind now. We talked about this on a video years ago. I got to meet Metallica. And I always say when I was younger, one day I'll meet Metallica. And by hook or by crook, I met them. And that was by giving the Met Club a lot of money. But I don't care because I did it. So, yes, that was absolutely badass. I'm sure you can believe that. I tell you why that's here, because I still can't believe it. And I'm very thankful to the world, to life, to the people in charge that allowed me to do it. Number 5, we continue this trend because everyone asked me about my old jobs. I used to work for Sony. In fact, working for Sony Computer Entertainment Europe, SKI, was my first job out of university. I don't know how I landed that. I did not deserve it. I did not deserve it. I must have smiled. Really nice. Well, he's a happy chap. And what I used to do is I used to write the back of boxes and the instruction manuals for some PlayStation games and some PSP games. It was so long ago. So, there may be some stuff out there that you look in the back and you says, written by Simon Miller. That would be me. And that was a really, really cool job. That was kind of my first step into the video game world, which is what I decided I wanted to do when I'd done my last exam. I remember I was reading Official Nintendo magazine on the bus home from my last exam with my people I was living with at the time. And they said, oh, Simon, what do you think you're going to do? And I kind of had this silly idea, reading and going, oh, I'm going to write for a video games mag. And that's how I kind of snuck my way in. But it was really funny sort of writing back in boxes, especially because how many times have you read a back of a box? And then to kind of be the guy, and it was a very sort of strict style guide, as it had to be. It was Sony, right? They're an international company, very obviously, located in Japan. But yeah, I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Still do. Number 4, and this is where this video was kind of born out of. Yes, I used to have wonderful, luxurious long hair. Here's the picture I put on Twitter, tying into that "How's it going?" and "How's it going now?" meme that was It was happening a while ago. I grew my hair. It was actually kind of ties into fitness. It was when I injured my shoulder in the gym and I was out for like a year and a half and I wanted to do something to distract myself. And while growing your hair sounds a bit weird because it requires zero effort, I'd always wanted long hair because I was a massive Triple H fan. And I liked Tom Cruise in The Last Samurai. This is all true and I was into metal. So I was like, I want to have long hair. And I did. I grew it and I grew it and I grew it. And alas, it was the last time I had hair because I used to tie it back, obviously, and I was in a lift once, and it had a mirror that went all the way around, or a reflection. I could see that it was thinning. And the next day, I went to a barber's and I said, cut it all off. And they cut it all off, and I had short hair for a while. It lasted about 2 more years, and then I had to shave it all off because Mother Nature kicked my ass. I miss those locks. Number 3, again, this has actually been on the channel, but I kind of feel like we have a new audience these days. I almost died in a car crash. I'll click my fingers and hope that I can find the picture. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty because it actually became quite a thing because the person that was responsible claimed that they weren't, and I had to prove that they were. So I don't know what I'm allowed to say and not to say. Thankfully, you know, it turned out it wasn't my fault because it 100% wasn't. But yeah, like I hit this vehicle so hard and then kind of knocked off it and smashed into a verge. I was driving a relatively new car, or at least a new car that wasn't brand new, but I don't know, there must be I can't explain it, but the guy basically said to me, because it's past this date, and before this date, all cars were basically like tin cans. If you had been driving a tin can, you probably would have died, but because you had one of the newer ones, that's why you survived. And honestly, I use this word as an example. I'm not going to say I had as bad as some people. I always get it wrong. But I suffered a little bit from PTSD. That's right, post-traumatic stress disorder. Because every time I closed my eyes, I relived the car accident in my head. It totally freaked me out. I broke a rib from it. I had a big bruise on my head from where I hit the airbag. I tell you the funny story, actually. I had an open pack of chicken on the passenger seat that I had started eating before I got in the car. And I put it on there because if I ever went out, I always brought a pack of chicken with me for obvious reasons. And so when the cop who was there checked my car, it was like, all fine, no worries. And I had to check my phone to make sure I wasn't on my phone. So the only question we do have is, why is there chicken everywhere? And I was like, gotta get my protein in, man. Gotta get my protein in. But yeah, that was horrible. And even when I talk about it now, like it's all fun and games, nobody was hurt, well, apart from my rib. But that's terrifying. And if you've ever been in a car accident, you know, don't be silly on the roads, kids. Be safe. Number 2, my dad worked on television. Yep. If you know, you know. If you don't know, now you do. Hopefully I can find a clip and I'll put it up right there.
Now, today's sports news, and with the details, here's Graham Miller.
England's hopes of winning the 6th test and levelling the series against the West Indies look to have collapsed along with their batting.
He was the sports anchor for ITN or ITV, which is a massive, or was, not anymore because news channels have changed so much, with before 24-hour news. But he used to, look, the British people will get this, he used to be the sports guy that sat alongside Trevor McDonald, right? And as a kid, I didn't realize that this was a massive deal. Of course you don't. That's just what my dad did. I suppose maybe that's how I got into this, but I embrace YouTube, etc., etc. But yeah, that's what he used to do. And now I look at it, I'm like, holy crap. That's like, how the hell did he... It's like a real big thing. That's like living your dreams kind of a territory. I don't have anything else to say about it, but it's true. Another one, we'll finish with a dumb one, given that it's Sunday is dumb day. I have never seen a Harry Potter movie or read a Harry Potter book. And the reason I think you won't believe this is because when I tell people, they look at me like I've just slapped their mum. They go, not really. So they don't believe it. I'm like, no, it's not intentional. When I heard about some kid that went to wizard school, I was like, I don't really think I need to watch that. So I didn't. Maybe it's amazing. I'm not saying, look, the amount of success it's had, it's good. It just is. I don't like it when people go, I don't like it, so it must be rubbish. No, bull crap. It just never came up. It just never came up. Maybe I was a bit worn out with Lord of the Rings because that was all happening in the early 2000s, whenever it was. So I don't know. I know the story. Spoiler. I know Harry dies by a guy called Voldemort, but I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what the obsession with... Is it Paddington? No, it's not Paddington. It's King's Cross. And he goes through some wall and there's a trolley. I don't know. I don't know any of it. But people are so shocked and they're so offended. They're so offended that I'd never seen Harry Potter. I thought I'd finish the video by maybe offending you too. There you go. That's that. If you do want more stuff like this, not only drop it in the comments, but give me ideas for titles. Because again, I think I overthink this thing sometimes. So if people want to see a certain thing, I'd rather give you what you want. Like the video, share the video, subscribe. May have just said that, can't remember. Hit the bell, ding, ding. You know when videos are going live. Another video up there right now. Give it a click. Otherwise, patreon.com/Simon316 if you want to support me financially. Just going to be honest. At Simon316 on Instagram Instagram and Twitter. Simon.bigcartel.com. Oh, soon have the Flexes shirts back. Otherwise, have a great day. Have a great Sunday. If it happens to be Sunday, you can probably tell I'm struggling with not struggling, but my content's a bit all over the place at the moment. But I want to make sure I get stuff up. More importantly, take care. See you soon.